At 7:01, I'll go ahead and call to order the Pendleton Board of Zoning Appeals for August 19, 2025. Do a roll call starting to my left.
Robert Jones.
James King.
Kyle Ackland.
Jenny Sisson.
Probably.
All right, we do have a quorum. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the July 2nd meeting. For the second.
I second.
All right, motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion carries. Old business, we have the findings of fact, 201 East State Street.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, we do just have one old business item. This is regarding our July petition. We had a special meeting on Wednesday, the 2nd of July. It was regarding the Acton Academy, the building that was owned by Lindy Metz as petitioner. She came forth in front of this board and asked for a land use variance. That structure is a single family residential structure that was built intended for that use, but over time then developed into a commercial use within our downtown business district. Since then, she has had the interest in seeking to be able to allow residential use on the ground floor instead of just limited to the second floor only as what is kind of earmarked in our downtown business district. Your board had reviewed and considered all the facts and findings of that petition. And according to all the criteria, you felt that that was met. Your findings of facts is in your team's folder there. But based on staff analysis and those findings and what was presented at that hearing, you had approved that petition. And so we have your findings of facts in front of you for consideration and vote tonight. If you would like, I can kind of hit some of the highlights on those. Or if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. There was no opposition to this petition, as well as there was no outlined conditions as well as a requirement of that petition.
Good.
Good.
All right.
Okay.
A new business.
All right.
08-19-2025-01, 740 Henderson Way.
Here. All right. Thank you. Okay, we have one new business petition tonight. It is regarding property at 740 Henderson Way. If you recall, back in September of 2023, this petitioner had come forth, had asked for a variety of variances. It was variance from developmental standards. Again, tonight's petition is a separate variance for this particular site development. The petitioner is here today. We've got owner and developer there, Rita. She is a tenant there for the subway on the north side of State Street. And she has interest in, has purchased this land and has interest to bring in a mini strip center there for the town of Pendleton. And so in development there, we kind of worked with her along the way with regards to a few variances back in September of 2023, in which they were approved. There was a couple of conditions that were placed upon this variance. We'll talk about it just in a moment. But just generally, some of the general site details, it is zoned general business. This particular parcel is 1.57 combined, a combination of 5 sliver parcels then that are contiguous. They're running east and to west. This particular parcel is within the Gateway Overlay District. So it would fall, and it does fall within the guidelines of those additional standards that were approved this past year by Planning Commission and ultimately Town Council. This particular parcel is surrounded by other general business uses, and it falls within the Falls Point Business Park there. Tonight, we do have the petitioner's team as well. We have Tim Howard here. We have Doug Beamer up here. Behind him, we have John Bean. They are the petitioners and representatives of Rita in this petition. They have filed all the necessary application materials and requirements, including their circulation, notification requirements and affidavit, as well as have submitted that representation form for us that we need to have on. We did not, as a town, the town staff, we did not receive any feedback from the community in response to the circulation notifications that went out in opposition or even in support. And so that being said, we are ready to go ahead and present what they're asking your board for consideration. So between September 2023 and here about the last probably 6 months or so, as she has worked with her team to develop and work with this site, they are asking for consideration to allow a building orientation to face solely west. And so as you recall, you're going to see here on the image here on the left was what the board had approved from the last time for we have two different documents. Well, it's one document, but one is appendix within the main document. The Unified Development Ordinance, it does ask that the building faces the primary or the heaviest road classification. So in this particular case, we would consider that to be State Street. Then the secondary road classification in intensity would be Henderson Way, then to the south. That is a part of our normal standards from the UDO. The second piece of it, which is within the appendix, is our corridor overlay standard, which then suggests that the main entrance of the building is to face the street in which the building is located. So again, that could be then off State Street or Henderson Way. Knowing those standards and expectations, this team has come forward and had asked in 23 to allow then the orientation to then in part then face west and then create then that L-shaped structure there, then in which part of it then would face then State Street. A part of the variance also was double signage as well as a setback. So the double signage is still valid, it's still in place, as well as their setback is still being met. If it's a 35 feet front setback off State Street, that is still being met then by the new, and actually you'll see even a little bit more in the proposed layout here. In planning and preparation and looking at the site, this site, as we all know, is a little bit unique. It is kind of shallow from north to south. There are some limitations with utilities, as well as we do have a gas easement, large gas easement to the west. And so in just kind of working in with the constraints of this parcel, as well as to provide some of the two conditions that came out of that variance, which one was to give a dedication of right-of-way of the most west parcel. They are honoring that, as well as to then move then the dumpster off of State Street and move farther to the south to be able to create some screening and not being so visible from the main roadway when you come into town. Also too, in just looking at what the market supports for and what the demand is for these type of tenant type spaces. They have found that a 1,200 square foot, maybe 1,500 square foot is more in demand and more practical. And also two is in creating that space that seems to work, well, and to meet their needs. What they've done is, you'll see a little bit in our analysis that we've broken down, is they have enlarged the width from the front. So instead of being 40 feet wide from going from the west to the east, they have accommodated and to create a little bit more visual pleasing building by enlarging it then from east to west then by additional 20 feet, creating the 60 feet width then from a larger footprint from the front. So what they're asking, instead of having it, the main entrance to come in then off of Main Street, then that to then come in off from the west elevation of the structure. And you'll also see too that there was some needs for some circulation changes. The site here with configuration as far as the island here. This layout provides a little bit more safer circulation, traffic kind of coming in and out around not only the parking spaces, but then also the drive-through. So that is what they are seeking as far as layout, what they have proposed. Their renderings so far also do meet all of the UDO and the Gateway Corridor overlay requirements. But as far as the facing, we're going to show you here on the second slide here, what features and characteristics that they are they're providing to be able to meet these standards. So you'll see here in the color elevation here, it shows a variety of materials. So again, when you are coming in from I-69, when you're coming in to the east into the downtown, this is what you're going to see. You're going to see kind of the front face of the building, then going on the west elevation. But then here down below, and I'll have you pause here, don't scroll down yet, we'll show you what that north elevation is going to look like and what changes they've made. So here from the materials here, they are offering a decorative cornice. The materials are going to be a mixture of 2 different bricks, EIFS, as well as some metal siding. And then they're also looking into some split face. It's concrete masonry unit. So it's a product that gives some more texture and character to the exterior. But you'll see, Stephanie, if you want to scroll down here, you'll see all of the 4 elevations. But on your left is what you're going to see from Henderson Way. So they, in widening up the footprint of the structure, it allows them to be able to have the window coverage on both bookends of the building, on the south and the north as well. And that is a huge improvement to what the original, the other structure were just going to be then off of the parking lot then in the interior. Then to the north elevation, they've also added 4 large windows as well. And so this is what you would see then as you're driving past this building then to the front. The drive-through window would also still be in on the most east end of that building, but then offering then, as you can see, a black canopy then to give a little bit more character then from the side. There are additional renderings within your team's folder for reference. This building does give the window coverage that we need, the materials and so forth as well. Do you have any questions at this point before kind of go into some staff analysis, and any questions specifically to the exterior? And if there's anything, I want to welcome the petitioner to also add anything as well with the orientation layout.
If we do approve this, does it set any kind of a precedent for future development to the west?
So one of our observations is that the structure, so with our Gateway Corridor overlay, you want to meet not just the standard, but you want to mirror what is in that corridor. You want it to complement what is existing there. So in considering how the development has taken place, Three Rivers Federal Credit Union, Subway, as well as in the gas station, then to the west of them, all are orientated the same as what they are proposing. So it would complement what is existing. We do have all of these standards still in place, and they need to then be able to, if something were to be proposed, to be able to alter that course of what that standard is. It still needs to meet the requirement of the uniqueness of the property, and it also needs to be able to answer the question as far as what is around it. Does it match? Does it complement what is surrounding and in close proximity? So yeah, so we would still have as your board and as staff, we would still have the means to be able to make sure that if you felt like that this was not a unique circumstance, then any future development, we still have that, standing to be able to enforce
Just a comment,
those
this
requests.
whole strip is a unique surface
Yeah.
it's got. Yeah, is there gonna be a driveway cut coming off State Street?
So, no,
No.
there would not be any driveway
Driveway
access. That is a requirement, and they have, been fully aware and accepting of that. So it will only come from the south, one entrance off of Henderson.
On the first overhead, with the plowed fields and the under construction, it looked like there's a little spot there where a driveway cut might go, but that's fine, it was.
Oh, okay, yeah. Currently, you will see where they're at, and it's pretty close to where the proposed, permanent driveway cut. There is a lot of flooding in this particular lot. And so the town has allowed them to come in and to bring in soil that they need to be able to elevate this land. And, so they do have a temporary construction cut to be able to work, and make those improvements. Scheduled for this coming Monday, they're going to be doing the soil erosion control on that existing layout, for that, for that soil, in the interim before they are ready to start construction. Yeah. And they've been really, responsive and great to work with.
Seen them out there working, and they're already leveling.
Yes, yes, they have, they still would have to go through the site development plan, review process. We would get this to our technical review committee. They just know that in order to be able to move forward, this is what decision, that we need to be able to get this ruling to know if they need to, go back to the drawing board and come up with a different orientation if need be.
Yeah,
So,
it
and
just looks kind of tight, that picture there where they've got the cars in the back and then all the delivery doors will be clobbered if there's a line. And then how does the trash truck get in to get the dumpsters? Early late, and
I believe, and I'm trying to remember what the width is, but I believe because it's a widened lane there, I think it's at least 30, if I recall correctly there. He's talking about, you're talking between the dumpster and the drive-through lane.
Yeah.
Yes,
close to the drive.
Yeah.
But it doesn't look like it's really
Yeah.
much different from what we previously approved.
yeah,
I think the other photo was, where we thought we needed to move that dumpster, the blue area, close to State Street down further. So it's not right on State Street.
yes.
But
that
we
is
had to
correct.
prove that and that was a condition.
And the shading of that probably is a little, misleading a little bit as far as that is not the entire enclosed area. That's just I guess the landing pad or where they would, their parking space for taking out those dumpsters. So,
Well, the flow for traffic does look better with this layout.
Yeah, you got 2 full lanes up there.
yes, that's,
And it's back.
Yeah.
Change your mind.
and I feel like the way that they designated this, it'll keep that kind of that cut through and different vehicles kind of coming through at the same time around that aisle there.
I think it depends on tenants, but just making sure that from the back view, since as you're heading out of town, there's not pallets and milk crates or whatever ends up
Yes,
getting thrown out back, that tenants
yes.
keep that up.
Yeah.
That's my only.
Yeah, and that was one of our comments that I was going to be making, is that we do have our code enforcement, we do have our unsightly premise ordinance that is in place, and that is something that, yes, that they would definitely be subject to. That is for sure.
Why is there no interest off State Street? And so the design of the building, what they're proposing, is based on Henderson Way. Look at Henderson Way, it's a very wide street. Or State Street for that matter. Why is there no,
It is a primary arterial roadway, and so within our thoroughfare plan and our access management control ordinance, it is a standard to limit those driveway cuts off of those roadways that are traffic, because the speed limit's higher, the risk for collision and accidents are a lot greater the more that we have those cuts off of those primary roadways. Henderson Way, it is, I believe, at maybe 30 miles an hour in there. So it keeps traffic more controlled.
And it's going to be widened at some point.
So
correct?
there is dedication of right of way that is going to be provided, that in the future, when that road would be ready to be improved, that we would have that ability to do so. That would be right away from the property south of Henderson Way. Yep. That's the property there that the hotel and.
Yes,
all
as
that
it
wants will
more
eventually
developed.
develop.
And there's fees from that development to help. And we'll see that widen.
Yes, yes.
Does this
Okay.
design go through that new board that was created? at some
Yes,
point?
it will go through the gateway, the design review board.
And I know we're not
Remember?
really into
Yes.
design tonight, but just thought.
But yes, they will have their eyes on it. They will review the site's layout as well as the architectural features to make sure that all those standards are met. Yep. And then the technical review committee, they will all be a part of that site development review process. If you'd like, I could go ahead and go into the staff analysis then, and did you have any comments or anything you want to bring?
You're doing a great job so far.
Okay, so, you're welcome. The function of the planning staff is to now, analyze the petition against the approved and relevant plans and ordinances, as well as any existing conditions and or variances placed upon this site. To present the facts and analysis, and based on our review as staff, and I also do want to pause. I have Connor Grant, he is our new planning and zoning administrator here with us tonight, as well as we have Hannah Rose. They both worked together and helped me out in putting this presentation together. So just want to thank them for being a great team and helping us out, getting to us this evening. So I forgot I was going to mention that earlier, but just want that on the record. So in our analysis, I do want to raise some points here. First, this new proposed orientation of this site, as staff, we do not feel that it would be injurious to our community. It would not create any harm or safety concerns. Also, the full front visual will be visible as you're leading and coming into our downtown area and coming out of our gateway off of I-69. The new layout does improve the traffic flow and circulation. They have, as was mentioned, that they have widened those designated travel lanes throughout that site. They have complied with the request of the board to keep with the setback for this building, as well as the dedication of right of way then off State Street, and then relocating that dumpster. The proposed primary structure orientation will allow this petitioner to maximize the benefit of this land, and it does complement the development not only to the east, but then also then just right near to the west. This building has been widened east and west by that 20 feet, allowing for a deeper but overall smaller units, which is more practical for what the market demands at this time. The rear exposures and rear access if we would require this building to be orientated to be fully facing State Street, that also then we would see off of Henderson Way coming into then our development to the south, which their hotel and those developments off of Legacy Drive in the future. Those rear accesses to those buildings would be visible from that side as well. This way it gives those rear access points then visible, then kind of tucked away between their east elevation wall and then to Starbucks then to the east. The petitioner has committed to the architectural requirements of that Gateway Overlay District. We would anticipate all the other UDO standards to be met. And this development here, as you saw proposed, it would match kind of what we were envisioning and what has been committed to by the hotel development to the south. And also tie into a nice segue or transition into the downtown district. The spacing, the setback, also would be cohesive with the existing development then, in the surrounding. As far as conditions or commitments, maybe to, consider is that we have provided here down below this development here on the far left, box here, that is a nearby development, here within South Madison. There are some features there that we feel that would complement this area as well for consideration. Adding in a little bit, maybe more of a brick belt course up at the top, brick elements to the facade, more on the upper. Providing that decorative cornice, kind of, what is shown here in this image more than a flat one. However, the image is just more conceptual, so it doesn't really show all that detail. It doesn't mean that it wasn't intended, but we just kind of want to bring that to your attention. And then maybe doing more of those black window frames, cornice features like the awnings and so forth on the structure, to make sure that not only on the west elevation, but then make sure that we get those features or some additional features then off of that north elevation there where that drive-through is and those window areas there for the building. So that being said, that is all of what we have, but we're more than happy to answer any questions that you have.
I know that possible conditions, but again, just because we have this new review board, I'm thinking out loud here. Would we necessarily need to put those as conditions? Because
They're embedded in that document. Yes, you are correct in that. And we can work with the developer as the time when it comes to the site development plan as well as then that building permit process.
So the concept as presented is compliant with the overlay.
Yeah.
So these extra items are just kind of additional thoughts that.
Yes, well, the adding in those canopies and those extra features, that is a part of the standards of the overlay. So
they will have
If
it whether
they-
we make it a condition or not.
Well, I guess we could make it a condition that it meets the requirements of the gateway overlay,
Yes,
because that's not
exactly.
explicitly required.
Okay,
And they're willing to do that, so I think that would be a good idea.
I agree. I just didn't want to add anything extraneous. It's not
yes,
necessary.
yes, not above and beyond, we
Yeah.
just, want to be, Okay, yeah.
Does the petitioner have any presentation or just good to go or?
If you have additional questions, I would be happy to address them.
Is there a public hearing?
There is, right, public hearing for this one.
Yes, there is a public hearing for this one, so yes, we will need to,
Are we ready for that?
Yeah.
All right, it's 7:30. We'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Is there anybody in the audience here or online who wishes to speak on this? Right now, we'll go ahead. Or is there any board? Go ahead and close the public hearing. So I guess we'll go through the, staff's done a good job here analyzing the petition. And, we need to adopt findings of fact. With a motion. We just want to go through the 5 criteria for consideration.
I'm good with that.
All right, the first criteria, the approval will not be in interest of public health, safety, morals, or welfare of the community. So kind of just going back to the staff analysis, of this and comparing the site plan to the previous one, and, you know, it appears that this kind of works better with the
It does.
particular orientation of this site. We've already discussed how it's kind of a special site sandwiched between State Street and Henderson Way. The pedestrian crossings, the dumpster, I think all that looks like it's better.
It is better, especially with the future hotel, and they've added, or the previous did not have that.
Yeah.
It really improves it.
So I think we can agree that it meets that bullet point. The second one, the use and value of the adjacent area will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Reading the staff report, you know, it's complementary to the orientation of the adjacent buildings. It's gonna meet the architectural requirements of the Gateway Overlay District, so that's architectural requirements, so I think that is a positive approval for that bullet item. Any other discussion? The third item, the need for the variance arises from some condition peculiar to the property involved. We've already discussed that, you know, the shape and orientation of 2 street frontages. So it is a peculiar property with the need for this variance. The fourth item, the strict application of the terms of the ordinance would constitute an unnecessary hardship. And so I think part of the ordinance says it has to face the primary street, and another one says it has to face the street that it gains access from. Is that,
That in which it's located.
so you really can't do both.
Yeah.
I think when you enter off of Henderson Way, if it's facing State Street, you don't even know what's really in the building.
Exactly.
And so turning and kind of lets you see the building as you pull it in. I think that makes sense. So I think that having to face State Street and Henderson Way at the same time seems like a hardship because it's not possible. So this is a good use of the property. And so the approval does not interfere substantially with the comprehensive plan. Is there discussion? What was staff's analysis of that item?
Yeah, so, just the transportation piece of it, circulation, the safety, you know, we felt like that, you know, met with, and a lot of times we get on that, on the uses, but we felt like that, you know, it did not, contradict anything that we found in the comprehensive plan with the orientation. We feel that it supports, connectivity. You know, this improved layout, it provides that connectivity that the comprehensive plan, you know, yearns for. How it kind of speaks and interacts with the roadways as well as other buildings, that we felt like that was a goal and objective, that was being met through the comprehensive plan.
So I think it satisfies the 5 criteria. Is there any further discussion? I guess I'll entertain a motion with the addition of a condition that it meets the architectural requirements of the Gateway Overlay District. Motion, second.
I second.
Motion is second. Is any discussion on the motion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed? Carries 5-0. All right, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.